and welcome to the live stream show. And today we are taking a deep dive in how you can leverage LinkedIn for generating organic leads. And this is a great topic for today. There's a lot of people who are playing around on the LinkedIn platform, especially since it's become much more of a social media and social friendly platform for professionals. And as we all know, if you've been online for any length of time, organic reach has been in decline. And so a lot of people are starting to give up hope and go, oh no, this is bad. I'm putting stuff out there and no one is seeing it. Like I used to go on Facebook and people would see thousands of, views of my videos. And now it's down to like 3 or 2 or some small number. And so I have brought Molly Stovold on, who is a LinkedIn organic lead generation specialist, and she is going to show us how we can do this in a way that actually works in terms of reaching out as a real, authentic human being and making genuine connection with people so that you can build a relationship that will lead to getting a good fit between you and your prospects and actually earning their trust so that they become a client. So that's what we're up to today. Stay tuned. Don't touch the dial, and we are going to start the show. Recorded live in Boston, Massachusetts, this is the Livestream Show. In a world full of underexposed entrepreneurs, the Livestream Show is your gateway to a global community of live stream pioneers who dare to go live and create something special and unexpected, which could only happen because it was live. I'm your host, Brad Powell. Let's get on with the show. All right. Welcome to the show, Molly.
Hi. So happy to be here.
Yeah. And I just want to mention, you are calling in all the way from Bali, which is so cool. And when I was looking you up and sort of seeing your background and the kinds of things that you've been up to, one of the things of note is that you surf. I don't know if you're still doing that in Bali now, but oh my gosh, my impression is that this is like the online entrepreneur's dream come true, that you are living in an exotic location and you're yet still working with clients who are based in North America and in Europe. And you're able to do it all. You're putting it all together. So good on you. And I want you to share, how did it happen? Draw the line between, I don't know when and now. You were one day in the ocean surfing and said, aha, I'm going to figure out how I can do this for the rest of my life.
No, so I am still surfing, and surfing is really one of the reasons that I always tried to find online jobs, remote jobs, and then eventually decided to go out on my own and start my own business, was so that I could, 1, live in perpetual summer, and 2, be able to surf regularly. I love surfing. It brings me so much peace. And now, thanks to kind of being online and starting marketing straight after uni, really, and going into lead generation and being in an industry which is essentially all online, it meant that then when I did go into consulting, it just naturally flowed. And now I can surf every morning and live in Bali, and I am really living the entrepreneur's dream, and I'm so grateful for it.
Oh man, that's so great. Yeah, that's really cool. A long time ago, halfway through my college career, I decided to not go back to school, and I took a year off, and I went to Hawaii and spent the winter there, learning how to surf. That was my big adventure.
So, you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, completely. I was on Oahu. I spent all my time up on the North Shore, and yeah, it was incredible. It was it completely turned me around. I felt like I had spent all my life following a particular path that had been assigned to me. And for this year, it was the first time that I felt completely able to do whatever I wanted, whatever I felt like. And it was a big turning point for me at that point in my life. It was really quite a splendid time. So, all right. So let's dive into our topic today. LinkedIn is turning out to be a very fruitful place for networking and for interacting and really being able to reach out to and meet just about any professional person that you want to. I really like the attributes of the platform for that. And at the same time, I know that, like, just in the video world and the kind of videos that I've been doing, a couple of years ago, if you put up a native video or if you did a live stream, the algorithm really helped you out. You would be seen by thousands of people. And today, that's just no longer the case. I mean, you can still, if you're doing the right kinds of things, you will still get good engagement. But the platform itself is not pushing as freely as it once was. So there's this challenge now in terms of how does organic lead generation still work? And so I want to have you speak a little bit to that, just the changes that you've seen and the kinds of things that you're doing to, go and give advantage to people who know how to do this properly.
Yeah, for sure. So I think for starters, you're definitely right. LinkedIn did, and the algorithm did used to push video content. You'll see a lot of LinkedIn consultants and trainers from back in the day really push creating a lot of video all the time. And they still insist that that's the right way to go. But the algorithm kind of realized that this was a tactic that people were using to influence very rapid growth of their profiles and therefore of their business. So they kind of pulled back on pushing video so much. And now what you're seeing, I'm sure you'll probably notice, will have noticed, is that polls, suddenly one person's poll will be doing really well, getting loads of votes. So now what they're pushing is things like polls, longer form posts, and it's varying. And what this really shows is that no matter what, the algorithm can always change. So the smartest move to make is to, yes, use LinkedIn, but use it in a way where you're still trying to build your list. So use it as a way of your email list. So use it to give pure value to your audience and to grow your audience. And then it's regularly use it as a tool to really try to grow your list. So the way that you can do that is by, say, for example, for your video editing, you could have a poll, which we know the algorithm favors when it's structured correctly and is easy to engage with. You could have a poll asking someone if they're interested to learn more about video editing. Yes, no, simples. And then if someone says yes, you can hop into their DMs and have a conversation with them. And then you're therefore building your network, and you can offer to send them something you have, a freebie or whatever it may be. And then there you go, they're on your list. So that's a way you can kind of use polls to work in your favor. And there's various other strategies like that, which even though video isn't working, there are still other ways to really take advantage of LinkedIn and the algorithm.
Yeah, so, okay, hang on a second. So, all right, so if I'm doing an engagement post like a poll, and there we go. I want to get that it kind of, people are responding to the poll. And I'm also wanting to move people over and get them on my email list. What are the steps in between so that, if someone's answering to a poll, my understanding is that when they're doing that, like, that's really good engagement. And I don't necessarily know who that was. That's just a bunch of poll responses. It's not the same as if they've commented on the post. So what are your strategies in terms of doing an engagement piece that will then allow me to respond and or continue the conversation and then offer a lead magnet or offer something that would give them incentive to opt in for my email?
Yeah, so I think it's all permission-based marketing essentially. So the poll is one example where you can view everyone who voted on the polls. So you would reach out to them. So the stages would be you'd post the poll, people would vote, and then you'd follow up with them within your DMs with a social selling strategy, just saying, hi, I saw you voted on my poll. if you're interested in this freebie that I have, here's a link to it, and then they would click off. So that's one option. And then there's also other kind of funnels. So let's say, for example, the videos are working well for you. So the kind of funnel within LinkedIn, a native LinkedIn funnel, if video is working and you're using video to kind of communicate with your network, and that is the content that you enjoy to create, which I know it is, and that's kind of what you'd like to use. But because video isn't being shown to the algorithm and it's not being put like by the algorithm and isn't being pushed so much, then the way that you can continue to use video in your favor is by having a masterclass. So continuing to use video and connect with your audience, but then having a masterclass or having an event and really trying to promote that event. So creating the event on LinkedIn, having video content posts going out regularly, talking about the masterclass, and then having the masterclass on LinkedIn. And anyone that's has said that they want to attend the masterclass, you would then follow up with in their DMs.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's actually something that I do already. And one of the things that I really like about the LinkedIn platform is that when you do something like that, you are creating an event page. And when you create this event page, LinkedIn allows you to reach out to all of the people who you are connected with and send them a direct personal invitation, which not only is a notification on the platform, but they actually get an email from LinkedIn inviting them to join, which is better than all the other platforms. Like this is the only one that really does this.
Yeah, and the best thing is that not only does it do that, so you invite it to everyone in you say you have the event and you invite everyone in your network. The event invite will show up within, the other connection requests, etc. So people will click attend, and then you can see who has clicked attending. And then if you use a UTM link within the event itself, you can see which of those people have actually converted and have actually signed up for the course or have taken the next step in the funnel and gone to your sales page. So, and if they haven't, if whatever data tracking system you are using shows that they haven't actually converted, but they have clicked attending on the LinkedIn event, then you can then go into the social selling strategy of, hi, I've seen that you've clicked attending, but I don't see that you've joined up my list. Are there any questions that you have? And then you can really turn those kind of warm leads into hot leads and continue to build the relationship there. And then also just get honest feedback. Maybe someone thought that your offer was one thing, or maybe thought the masterclass was about one thing, and then it turned out it was about something different. And that kind of speaks to the fact that maybe the copy needs to be changed slightly on the sales page or the event page. And it can be really informative in that way, because it's very rare that you can see everyone that's interested and that you can actually check whether they've converted or not. And LinkedIn, that simple process really helps you to do that.
Yeah. So for anyone who didn't quite get that, explain what a UTM link is.
For sure. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
So UTM,
I just... Lots of people like, UTM? I don't know if I've ever heard of that before.
So a UTM link is a link that essentially, say the link is mollystovold.com offer, right? So anyone that clicks that mollystovold.com/offer link, I can track where they come from using a tool, something like Google Analytics, right? But you can also take where the traffic comes from. So did they come, where the source of the traffic is, what their location was, what the medium was it social media, etc. But you can actually take that one step further with the UTM link. And the UTM link will show you can set it up so that it basically shows the campaign, where the traffic is coming from, what it's in relation to, the source. And it means that when you're doing your data tracking, you can really pinpoint exactly where your leads are coming from. And that is the real value of a UTM link. You can use it to establish exactly where your leads are coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so great. I mean, this is something that a lot of people don't really understand in the realm of marketing, is that this kind of data collection is just incredibly valuable for every single step in the prospect's journey from being total stranger, coming from someplace that, like they saw you, they've never seen you before, and then these little micro commitments that they make on each stage, whether they said yes to come to the event, whether they actually attended the event, did they do something after they attended the event, did they go to your website, all this kind of stuff. And being able to track all of those engagements is just extremely powerful in terms of being able to respond to them appropriately when you're getting back to each person. I just love the granularity of all this. And that you can do this on a platform like LinkedIn organically, where you have such a great population, like this group of people who are really in the mode of wanting to show themselves in a very professional way, which is so different than the YouTube environment or the Instagram environment or the Facebook environment. It's just a different world altogether. And this is something that, again, I don't think, a lot of people that I talk to, they're going, yeah, I'm on Facebook, but I haven't been on LinkedIn for 5 years. I don't, like, I put my resume up there a long time ago, and since I'm not looking for a job, I just don't pay any attention to it. And this is there's a whole bunch of folks that haven't really glommed on to the opportunity that LinkedIn provides.
Yeah, I think something that is really differentiates LinkedIn from all the other platforms is that people, when they're on LinkedIn, and that your last point really speaks to this, they are engaged. They're there for a reason. They're there ready to take an action, which is great if you are trying to sell a product, if you have a service offering or something within that field, right? Because instead of people being aimlessly scrolling as like they do say on Instagram, they are there with an action in mind. They're either working, they're looking for a job, or they're there to interact. Their brain is switched on. They're consciously on the platform at a much higher level than people and employees and employers, etc. All business owners show up to any other platform, and because of that, the conversion rates, I think, that's something that really influences the conversion rates, because people are more open to listen. Yeah.
All right. So when it comes to, like, one of the things that I see people doing on LinkedIn, and this happens to me all the time, I'm sure it happens to pretty much everyone on the platform, is that you're on the platform and there is these folks who are wanting to market themselves. And their method of doing so is they reach out and they offer to connect with you. And usually it's coming with just a straight connection request. If there's any note in there, it's something generic around like, hi, I see you're a coach. And I'm a coach too. Maybe we should connect. And then if you say yes to this invitation, they come right back with, by the way, I help coaches do X, Y, Z, and I think maybe you could use some help with this. And, why don't you, contact me for a discovery call or some such thing like that. And I honestly don't think that, I don't respond to any of these. Where that falls flat mainly seems like there's no relationship building going on there. And the other thing is that they're using the connecting and messaging tools as a very aggressive cold calling style of tactic of trying to generate leads and trying to turn leads, into any kind of anything. And so, and this is unfortunately what seems to be, I don't know, maybe these people all come from a sales background or something, but a huge number of people on the platform have decided that this is the way to try and grow their business using LinkedIn. And personally, I've been totally against this. And I know a lot of people, especially the clients that I work with, are turned off by this behavior and they don't want any part of it. So, and it sounds like a lot of things that you're talking about are really in a different pattern. So can you just speak to this issue and sort of talk about the alternate strategies that you suggest for people to do?
So I think the first thing to say is that the reason that people see this so often is because, although it's unfortunate, that it is the easy way out. So it's easy to set up an automation tool. There's plenty out there that does the whole process that you just listed for the person's from the person's profile, essentially for them. So they can find a list of profiles through using Sales Navigator, various different filters, and they can set up an automation tool that does exactly that: sends a connection request with a very unpersonalized text, and then within 2 hours, or it's 2 days, it's pretty much straight after, as you said, there's this very scripted sales pitch. And that's just automatically happening. So while you and your audience may not agree with that or respond to that, and neither would I, lots of people don't, it's the reason people do it is the numbers, because they're sending so many out every day, and because it's really an automation tool a lot of the time. That's why it's such a big mass of them in your inbox and other people's inboxes. It means that eventually someone will bite, and that conversion rate is going down, is decreasing day after day because of the pure spam that is coming in. So the alternate option, which is the one that I use and prefer, and everyone really prefers, does take more effort. And I think with anything, that's why sometimes people avoid it and try the other option first. And the other option is to really go for inbound leads. So inbound leads are people that come to you. So how do you get people to come to you? That's through SEO, a content strategy that situates them before you or the product. So lots of people's treat LinkedIn, lots of people on LinkedIn seem to think that they need to tell their story all the time, but really it's a value platform. It's how can you serve your audience, thinking constantly as serving, inspiring, whatever, and really serving them, and having that the same attention to detail in terms of things like your search engine optimization, SEO, that you would on your own website, your own landing pages, with your own LinkedIn page, and just being as professional and on brand in that same way, using the same tone of voice, and just thinking of it as a way to really build a network, and using SEO and content to drive inbound leads. And then, yes, also have an outreach system set up where you are building a network, because that is how you find new leads. But rather than going for the masses and automating everything in a very unpersonalized manner, the strategy that I like to use is you find someone who you'd like to connect with, you connect with them, you engage with their content, you send them in at least 2 messages before you even debate trying to get them on a call. And then by this stage, you already don't need to say a one-liner about whatever it may be that you have in common, because you've already engaged with their content. They know who you are. When you pop up in their inbox, they don't think, oh no, this is the person who I just connected with, they're totally going to pitch me. They think, oh, this is the person that said that really insightful comment on my post yesterday. It's so nice that they're in my inbox right now. And it's this whole different approach. It's a lot more permission-based marketing, and it's a lot more about network and connection building, rather than just mass generation of leads. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that approach. It just sounds far more healthier. And especially like now in this increasingly work from home world that pretty much everyone is living in, is forced to live in, the internet is becoming increasingly important as a way to build and maintain relationships. And if everyone is just shouting at each other and pitching each other, and it's like, hey, here's my elevator pitch, and you're doing that with everyone you bump into, oh man, it becomes this giant cacophony of, things that you're just trying to dodge and weave between and avoid. So when you are a person who comes across as genuine and generous, it's refreshing, and people will seem to respond much more positively to that. So yeah, this works great. And yeah, it does definitely take more time and more effort, but what the heck, it's worth it, right?
It's 100% worth it. And I've definitely noticed that when the new clients, we say leads, but really they're new clients, come in, and the ones that come through this inbound marketing kind of strategy where they've engaged with you, your content, there's this relationship there, and they really stay longer. They're long-term client and customer that's loyal to you and your brand, rather than someone that has just on a whim decided to work with you and book that strategy call. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're getting towards the end of our time today, and I'm just wondering, like, if there's one thing that you would like to communicate to folks who are using LinkedIn, or they're approaching the platform in a way, and they're trying to figure out, like, okay, so what should I be doing this year on this platform? What would you have to say to them?
Start with your profile. Please, no third person bios. It's your story. Tell your story, own it, and work from the top all the way down, and just really use each and every part of the profile in creator mode to tell your story, highlight your experience, and show that you're a trusted person to work with. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's really good. Yeah. All right. So if people want to, like, they're going, okay, Molly, I'm convinced I need your help, and they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Via LinkedIn, send me a DM. I'll be happy to speak to you.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I just think this is a really healthy conversation for all the LinkedIn influencer folks, or people striving to use the platform, use it for good, use it for relationship building, use it for the benefit of all of our businesses. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And for you guys who are still here, if you want to engage with the live stream show and all the previous episodes here, you can go to thelivestreamshow.com. Every single episode is archived there. You can subscribe, and you can actually listen to the edited audio version of the live stream show on your favorite podcast app. And don't forget, if this was helpful and valuable, share this with at least one person. We're trying to build the community of people who are growing their business and getting their message out in the world in better ways, in ways that they can show up as real human beings. All right. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time. So long, everyone.